Alarm bells rang across the Middle East as Iran announced it had launched what it described as a final strike on Tel Aviv, triggering widespread power outages and plunging large parts of the city into darkness. Iranian officials claimed that precision-guided missiles targeted critical infrastructure deep inside Israel's economic hub, marking one of the most dramatic escalations in the ongoing confrontation between the two nations. According to Iranian state media, the strike was not only successful, but strategically decisive with military commanders asserting that key energy and communications facilities had been disabled in a coordinated nighttime operation. Iranian state television reported that multiple projectiles penetrated Israeli defenses, describing the attack as a turning point in the conflict and a direct response to what Tehran has called repeated provocations. Within minutes, headlines began circulating globally as footage of darkened city blocks and emergency response activity spread rapidly across international networks. Iranian military spokesman described the strike as measured but powerful, signaling what they claimed was both capability and restraint, a message aimed not only at Israel but at its allies. Before we go deeper into what Iran claims happened during this strike, how the attack unfolded, and what Israel is now saying about the extent of the damage, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the latest updates on the most dramatic geopolitical developments happening around the world. According to Iranian officials, the operation was carried out using a combination of long-range precision missiles and advanced drone systems launched in coordinated waves designed to overwhelm Israeli air defenses. Iranian military commanders stated that the strike package included both high-speed ballistic projectiles and low-altitude drones intended to evade radar detection and saturate interception systems. Iranian state television reported that the missiles specifically targeted critical infrastructure sites in Tel Aviv, including electrical substations, communications hubs, and what they described as command coordination nodes supporting Israeli military operations. According to statements released by Iranian military spokesmen, several of these targets were successfully hit, resulting in cascading failures across parts of the city's power grid. The stated justification for the strike, according to Iranian officials, was retaliation for recent Israeli military actions and a broader effort to re-establish deterrence. Iranian leadership framed the attack as a calculated response, designed to demonstrate that Israeli urban centers are within reach and vulnerable. Military commanders described the strike as a message written in precision, emphasizing that the operation was intended to shift the strategic balance without escalating into full-scale war. According to Iranian state media outlets, the symbolic meaning of the strike extends far beyond the immediate damage. Analysts featured on Iranian broadcasts suggested that targeting Tel Aviv, widely regarded as Israel's financial and technological center, was meant to send a signal that economic and civilian infrastructure could become part of the conflict if tensions continue to rise. Statements released through official Iranian channels describe the operation as both a warning and a demonstration of capability, with commanders claiming that more advanced options remain available if escalation continues. The importance of this messaging cannot be overstated, as it positions the strike not just as a military action, but as a strategic communication aimed at multiple audiences. Tel Aviv is not only one of Israel's largest cities, but also its economic and technological heartbeat, located along the Mediterranean coastline and home to key financial institutions, high-tech industries, and critical infrastructure networks. The city plays a central role in Israel's national resilience, hosting major data centers, communications hubs, and logistical coordination facilities that support both civilian life and military operations. According to regional analysts speaking to international media, the metropolitan area houses infrastructure that connects national energy distribution systems, making it a vital node in maintaining stability across the country. Disruptions in Tel Aviv can ripple outward, affecting transportation, communications, and emergency response capabilities nationwide. Military analysts have long warned that Tel Aviv would be a primary target in any large-scale escalation involving Iran or its regional allies. Its dense population, economic importance, and symbolic status make it both a high-value and high-visibility target. According to defense experts, even limited disruptions in the city can generate outsized psychological and economic effects. The importance of Tel Aviv cannot be overstated. It is not merely a city, but a central pillar of Israel's national infrastructure. Any successful strike affecting its core systems would carry implications far beyond immediate physical damage, raising concerns about resilience, deterrence, escalation. Military analysts immediately began assessing the implications of the reported strike, noting that targeting infrastructure rather than purely military installations signals a potential shift in strategy. If confirmed, such a move could redefine the parameters of the conflict and expand the range of potential targets moving forward. Before we continue with how Israel has responded to these claims and what analysts are saying about what really happened, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the latest updates on the most dramatic geopolitical developments happening around the world. Then Israel began to respond. Israeli defense officials confirmed that missiles had indeed been launched toward the Tel Aviv area. However, their description of the event differed sharply from the Iranian narrative. According to statements released by the Israeli Defense Forces, air defense systems were activated immediately upon detection of incoming threats, successfully intercepting a significant number of projectiles before they could reach their intended targets. Israeli officials acknowledged that some impacts or debris may have occurred, but emphasized that critical infrastructure remained intact and operational. According to Israeli government sources, temporary power outages reported in parts of the city were attributed to precautionary shutdowns and localized disruptions rather than direct catastrophic damage. Officials stressed that emergency systems were functioning and that restoration efforts were already underway within hours of the incident. Pentagon sources, cited by international media, confirmed that the launch activity had been detected and tracked, supporting Israel's claim that defensive measures played a key role in limiting the impact. Statements from allied defense officials suggested that while the attack was significant, its effects were far less severe than described by Iranian media. This stark difference between the two narratives immediately sparked debate across the global security community. On one side, Iran portrayed the strike as a decisive and successful operation that disrupted a major urban center. On the other side, Israel insisted that its defenses held and that the city remained functional despite the attempted attack. Military analysts immediately began assessing what this incident means within the broader context of the escalating regional tensions. According to defense experts, the strike, regardless of its actual impact, represents a significant step up the escalation ladder, introducing new risks and uncertainties. The use of coordinated missile and drone systems, as described by Iranian sources, reflects evolving tactics designed to challenge advanced air defense networks. Analysts note that even partially successful strikes can provide valuable data for future operations, potentially altering strategic calculations on both sides. At the same time, the competing narratives themselves are a critical part of the story. According to regional analysts, Iran benefits from projecting strength and success, reinforcing deterrence and domestic confidence. Israel, meanwhile, has a strong incentive to emphasize resilience and operational continuity, maintaining both public morale and international support. Economic implications are also beginning to surface. Energy markets reacted cautiously to the reports, with oil prices showing signs of volatility amid concerns that further escalation could disrupt supply routes across the region. The Middle East remains central to global energy flows, and any sustained conflict risks triggering broader economic consequences. International pressure for de-escalation is already mounting, according to diplomatic Sue. RISA's multiple governments are urging restraint, warning that continued exchanges could spiral into a wider confrontation involving additional regional actors. Whether these efforts succeed remains uncertain as both sides continue to signal readiness while avoiding full-scale war. Iran claims it delivered a powerful and precise strike that plunged parts of Tel Aviv into darkness and demonstrated its strategic reach. Israel insists that its defenses intercepted the majority of incoming threats and that the city remains operational despite limited disruptions. Between those two narratives lies a complex reality that is still unfolding. Some experts warn that incidents like this can easily spiral, especially as each side tests the limits of the other's defenses and responses. Others believe that both Iran and Israel may attempt to contain the escalation using carefully calibrated actions to avoid crossing into full-scale conflict. What is clear is that this event has already become one of the most dramatic moments in the unfolding confrontation, raising new questions about vulnerability, deterrence, and the future of regional stability. The world watches closely as military planners, political leaders, and international observers attempt to interpret what happened and what might come next. Whether this marks the beginning of a broader escalation or a temporary peak in tensions remains uncertain. What is certain is that the strategic landscape has shifted, and the implications of that shift will continue to unfold in the days ahead. Stay tuned for further updates as this developing story continues to reshape the geopolitical landscape of the region.